let me ask you the first question. Do you think children learn English easier than adults?
For me, I think that yes and no.
Yes and no.
Because for me, it's depend on the children. There are some children they can learn English very fast, but there are some uh, their development of the brain is not really good, so sometimes they cannot get it fast like others. And for me, that I agree with you that the learning a language is not depends on the age, because like me, I learn language at the age maybe I start learning English from grade 6, but actually it's just about the vocabulary and also that
Grammar.
the grammar is not about the communications. So even until graduation of college sometime or even university, we somehow our communication is not really good. Sometimes we can understand English, but we don't know how to respond. That is the problem. And that's why we don't have, we are not really confident in speaking English. And also that because for me, I think that if you have a heart to learn, so you can learn English at any age. And also that if they really love it, so even it's really hard for them to get it, but they will still, how to say, just keep perseverance in it. And that is, I think, the most important is their hearts, and also if they really want, so they can do it well.
Yeah.
And
How do you like to learn? How do you like to learn English?
yes, actually, yes. To say that learning another language is really a privilege to, just to open the mind, and also that is also a challenge for myself in seeing that I can learn another language, and also to see that I have the capability to learn another language, and also to express myself, or to like to know more about our talents in different way. And to know many people also, especially foreigners. Actually, before I like to how to say to my friend with the foreigners, but sometimes because I am not confident, I am afraid that I don't know how to talk to them, I don't know how to communicate. So that was the obstacle that blocked me to go to near other people. And that is really
How long have you been learning English?
actually I learned English if to say about learning English, so I already start from grade 6 now, but if thinking about I can speak English, so it's just 10 years ago. So I have a chance to stay together with the Filipina, and so she was our teacher, and she also stayed with us. So I think the environment was also the something that affect the way that we study English, because sometimes we study but we don't talk or we don't practice it, so we cannot really go out and communicate with others. But because we stay together, so we speak English, so we are forced to speak English, even we don't know, or even that we speak sometimes is wrong. But we are corrected again, and that is how we learn English well. And even that, and sometimes also it is a way that improve more the how to say the inspiration to learn English, and to love it.
Yeah. How do you like to learn English? So not like to learn through communication. How do you like to learn it? Do you like to write it, read it?
Yeah, it's saying about like somehow if to say about English, it's just a way for me to. I like it because it's a way for me to easier to communicate with the foreigners, and because there is also the like a global international language, so it's
Yeah.
easier for people everywhere I go, so I can communicate, I can ask easier, so I don't need to bother other people to have also time, because it's nice. I find it's nice, another language. And that is the how to call it. It's some kind like something for me to like when I go somewhere, so I need to have money with me to spend. So English is like also like that.
Yeah. But do you like to write English, or do you just like to talk in English?
Yeah, I like also to write English because that is one of my job also.
Yeah. Okay. So you like to write it, and like, how do you, if for example you don't have an English class or you're not doing anything with English, how do you like to keep yourself aware, or how do you like to keep yourself busy with learning English so you don't forget what you learn?
Actually, at this time, because before I am not in Vietnam, actually, so I am forced to speak English always. But now I'm in Vietnam, actually, sometimes I really forget English. And at this moment, sometimes when I speak, I really forgot, and I don't know what I want to express, but some kind like I forgot, so I cannot say what I want to say.
What you
And
want to say? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but sometimes when I go to the school study, it is my Vietnamese. But sometimes if the word that I can remember, I write in English, and that's how that it helps me also to remember it, because what I learn, that is what I learn. If I don't practice it, or if I don't say it, I will really forget. And for all the things that, because that is not when I was born, I already know it, so it's different with when I was born. I just learned it from the time that I grow up. And that's why that one of my way in remembering English is that I will write whatever I know. So for example, like in speaking, sometimes that I can remember English than Vietnamese. So sometimes I miss English and Vietnamese. And they are also, because I was in Philippines, so that's why sometimes I miss also the Philippines language. So that's why it is really a way. And here in Vietnam, I have my own language. So at this moment, I have 4 languages with me. So sometimes I really miss with each other. And that is also a thing that disarranged. So that I need to arrange it again, because sometimes I really miss my own language, because I am a native here in Vietnam. And the second language that, because I learned 2 languages in Philippines, that is Tagalog and Bisaya, and here English. And now that I love to study Chinese also. That's why I am studying Chinese language.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Knock. Yeah. What do you do so you don't forget what you learn in English?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. What things do you do so you don't forget what you learnt with your English teacher, or how do you keep remembering things in English?
Yeah, I usually I usually practice English with teachers, and I use learning again that's I will learn against the thing I learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you listen to English music? Do you watch English television shows?
Yes, I usually listen to music, watch movies, watch TV shows.
Did you find learning English easier as a child, or are you finding it easier now?
Say that again.
Did you find learning English easier when you were in child? So when you're like grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, or did you find learning English easier like now that you are a adult?
Find learning English. Um,
So when you were younger, did you find English easy or difficult?
difficult.
Difficult, yeah. And now that you're a adult, do you find it easier or difficult?
Easier.
Easier as an adult, yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Because I can learn English on social videos, as Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Yes.
Yeah. And do you think the way that the children in Vietnam learn English at school is the right way or the wrong way?
I think the right way.
Why? Why do you think it's the right way for kids to learn English in Vietnam?
Because I can English. Because I can English. In, because I can English in this. I can learn vocabularies in this. Yes.
So you think it in Vietnam the way the teacher teaches it in the primary school is the best way?
The teachers big way.
So do you think it's better that the teachers in Vietnam primary school, like grade 6, grade 7, the way they teach it is best? Or do you think the way we teach English is better? Which way do you think is better?
I think English. Learn English with teachers in the way we speak, in the way this works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's important for children or adults to study with a foreign teacher?
For teachers, the 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 youngest foreign with foreign teachers.
Yeah. Who has better pronunciation, young kids or adults?
Young kids.
Why? Why do you think the children have better pronunciation?
Because young kids, because this this age to learn language better.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So can you ask me some questions? Is there some questions you would like to ask me about learning English?
Actually, I want to hear one question from Miss Hồng, please.
Yes, the first, thank you, Chris, for your sharing.
I didn't see you on the screen, so sorry.
Okay. With us, I feel very hard to how to keep learning going with English is very hard with me. I cannot concentrate about my studies. So, do you have any tips about English learning?
I guess the main thing when it comes to learning a foreign language,
yes,
when you're not in the foreign environment, I think the most important thing is that I tell all my students is that you have to really start to immerse yourself. So that's listening to Taylor Swift, that's reading the foreign news, so reading English news, listening to foreign music, and watching, I mean, we all have YouTube, so watching foreign movies.
yeah.
It's quite good to watch in Vietnam. It's quite good because some of the channels, they will put in the foreign movie and put the Vietnamese subtitles down the bottom. So if you do things like that, it's quite good. You can also join, what do they call them? Coffee clubs or English clubs. And you can go and they'll invite a foreigner to come to a coffee shop. You can go and talk to them, and they sit around, drink coffee, and then for an hour, and you just go home, and it's free. So those are the kind of things that I tell all my students to do. But the easiest one is to just listen to English songs. That one's really important, because what happens is so many adults, they're busy, they're tired. As soon as they leave the classroom, they just stop. They just stop worrying about learning English because they see it as a task, not as a passion or not as an interest. So it's important.
All right, so let's see. I think I want to ask something more because she studied with me for a long time. I understand her, so I think your tips are helpful, of course. But I think she knows. So, how do you have any other questions about Chris tips? Because actually, for example, listening to music or watching American movies, you used to share with me those are the ways for you to practice English, right? So, so can you ask him some real questions about, actually we got some problems about those tips. So what happened if you just listening to music or watching films or going to coffee shops? Yeah, I think you know some problems of those in Vietnam, right? So can you share with him your experience?
Yes, I really love English. I love movie and some TV shows. And yes, I always learn English via YouTube, and I don't have any friend to. It's not exactly, but I have less friend who can practice English with me every day. So sometimes I don't have a friend who practice English with me, so I practice with myself. And
Oh my God.
Yes, and I practice with
what
myself.
What do you call me?
Yes, and this day sometimes I feel so exhausted that I can remember English grammars, and it's like Mary Star of the Sea says, and when we can understand, sometimes we can understand what foreigner says, but we can respond immediately. And yes, I feel so exhausted about that. Maybe I put a lot of stress about I need to be fluent in English, and I need to be good at English. So it's not it's how to say it. So maybe I put a lot of stress to push.
Yeah, you don't have to be, and that's the important thing. You don't have to be perfect and fluent in English. It's only your second language. It's not your first language. So don't feel, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be 100%, because you're not meant to be. It's not your first language. It's your second language. So you're always going to have little mistakes, little errors, and as foreigners, we are going to accept that. We don't expect you to be 100% perfect. That's impossible. Like even us as native speakers, we still make mistakes. We still have bad grammar. We still can't spell. We still can't speak 100% beautifully. So don't feel too bad or put too much pressure on yourself, because that's not fair on you, because you don't have to be perfect. Yeah, English is not perfect. You don't have to feel like you're perfect. But if you want to practice, for example, like if you want that interaction with yourself and foreign teacher, or with yourself and foreigners, there's many websites that you can join, and you have video chats with foreigners, so you can ask them questions and stuff like that. I don't know the details, but I can get the details from some of my friends, and I can forward that to your teacher, or give that to your teacher, and then you can use that where you just call them and you can talk to them, or practice your texting and things like that, or practice your English using, messenger apps and stuff like that. So I can certainly find out those things for you that you can use to have that interaction that you want to talk about. But don't feel bad that your English, don't put pressure on yourself, because if you put too much pressure on yourself, you won't enjoy learning it. You'll end up hating English because you feel too much pressure. So you just have to relax and enjoy English. If you enjoy something, you're going to keep doing it. You're going to get better. If you start to put too much pressure on yourself, you'll start to dislike it. And then as soon as you start to dislike something, you will stop learning. Because as adults, we will stop learning if we don't like it, or we feel, oh, it's too much pressure, I don't want to do it anymore. So don't feel like you have to do it. Yeah, it should be fun. Learning a language should be fun. It took me 6 months to learn how to count to 10 in Vietnamese, like mo, hai, ba. So 6 months. So if you're doing better in English than I am in Vietnamese, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask me anything else, Tom?
Yes, I think that what you say is very worth for me, is a very, how to say, expensive worth. Yeah, I think the first I need to clear my mentals, and not thinking too much about I need to better in English. It's good.
You don't need to be. Don't put the pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Because I see that a lot. Like they put so much pressure on themselves. Like I need to get band 9 in IELTS and blah blah blah. There's too much pressure, and then they don't enjoy it, and then it becomes a struggle, and then they don't like it, and then they stop learning, and then they don't want to do it anymore. So you must enjoy learning the language. So don't feel you have to be perfect. Like you don't need to be.
Thank you. Maybe I'm a little bit lazy, and sometimes I just find a reason that I'm not good at English.
Yeah. Your English is very good, so don't feel too bad. All of your English is very good. Knock, your English is good. Mary of the Sea, it's all good. your English is all very good. So don't feel bad. It's good.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see. All right.
All right. So it actually 12.
Yes, 12 o'clock. Yeah.
From your side, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Midnight
I
in New
just
Zealand.
say good night to Chris.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right, so
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining our online session today. Hope you guys did learn something special for yourself today. So once again, thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you next time. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chris.
Okay.
a lot.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Thank you
Goodbye.
so much.
So much.
Thank you, Mr. Chris.
And
Thank
goodbye,
you.
my
Yeah. Goodbye.
students. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.